Hello, bonjour, bienvenidos, benvenuti, welcome to the Music Polyglot channel. Today we're going to have a look at an awesome song by Parcels called Older. I'm going to show you exactly how it sounds on the record. Strap on, it's not easy. Close up. Let's start by looking at the intro and verses. They're exactly the same in that the chord sequence is exactly the same as is the rhythm. So first I'll play it for you really nice and slowly so that you can see what's going on with the strumming and the chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That's the main sequence. As you can see, there's quite a lot going on, so we'll take it step by step and look at it in detail. Let's go through the chords first. Chord number 1, F minus 7. That's the 8th fret. You go down to the 6th fret, E flat major 7. Then you take the pinky off to turn that into an E flat major 7 sus2. Then you go up to the 10th fret to play a G minor 7, and then up a semitone to play an A flat major 7. By the way, on these major 7 shapes, we're actually barring because you want to hear the top string as well. That A flat major 7 will also turn into an A flat major 7 sus2, so that's again by taking off the pinky. And the last chord shape we have, well, 2 actually. We have another G minor 7, but this time we play it as a partial barre on the 3rd fret. We bar all top 4 strings. Okay. Then we're going to come back to the A flat major 7, the sus2, back 2. We're going to have a little bit of that. We're going to look at this in detail in a second, but I want to show you the last shape, which is the G minor 7. This time we're playing the full barre on the 15th fret. All right, so those are the chords. What's really tricky about this is not even the rhythm, but it's the harmonic rhythm, which is where the chords actually change. This is very, very chord-based. It's almost like a chord-based riff. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it one bar at a time. And then we're going to add one at a time until we get all 4 bars. This is just a 4-bar sequence. So if we do this carefully, we're going to be able to play the whole intro and verses no problem. So bear with me here. Okay, so on bar number 1, we're going to have this. If my tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's bar number 1. Did you see the rhythm? So this is an 8th note based rhythm, which means that your hand and your counting are going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Remember, all the beats are downstrokes, and in this case, because it's an 8th note based pattern, i.e. we don't have any 16th notes, all the ands are going to be upstrokes. So this goes like this if I count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and. Okay? So that's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. We play on the 1, and then all the ands after 2, after 3, and after 4. And we're playing a different chord on each. First on the F minor 7, 1, 2, and then the E flat major 7. Then we take the pinky off, and then we come up to the G. All right, try it with me. Here we go, nice and slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and. Beautiful. That's bar number 1. I really suggest that you practice that. You can go back on the video a few seconds and practice it until you have it. Because now we're going to move on and look at bar number 2 to add it to what we just did now. So I'm going to go into bar number 2, which I'll play it and count it together straight away so that you can see what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. With a counting, 1, 2, 3, and. Okay. So on the first beat we don't play 1. We play on 2, that A flat major 7. 2. We let it ring out. On 3 we don't play 3. We play the and of 3 and then we play on the and of 4, that G minus 7, which is barring the top 4 strings in the 15th fret. One more time with the counting. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and. Okay. Again, practice this bar until it makes sense, because now we're going to put together bars 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, I hope that made sense. Shall we do that once with the counting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and, 2, 3, and. Beautiful. Okay. Be really careful about getting the direction of the strum correctly. That's why we're doing the counting. The beat is a downstroke and the ands are upstrokes. If you get that wrong, it's going to be really difficult to play this. So I really suggest you take the time to automate that down, up, down, up, down, up, and to get the right direction. Really, you shouldn't be thinking too hard about whether it's a downstroke or an upstroke. You should be focusing on keeping your hand moving like a pendulum and going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then just playing with the direction that the rhythm implies. Let's have a look at bar number 3 now in isolation. First I'll play it, then we'll play and count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, now with counting. 3, 4, 1, and 3, and. Okay, again, go back and learn this one bar, because now we're going to put it together with bars 1, 2, and 3. Here we go, from the beginning. 3, 4, 1, 2, and 2, and 3, and. Okay, bar number 4, which is the last one. Okay, so you're doing great. If you're getting it right up to now, you really are doing fantastic. So bar number 4 goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. All right, so we had that A flat major 7 on the and of 1, and then we move on to that G minor 7, which is a full barre on the 15th fret, right? We play on the and of 2, so that was 1 and of 3, and then on 4, right? That last bar one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 4. Those 4 bars together go like this. 3, 4. Fantastic. Well done. That's great. If you got this far, you really are doing great. Now, this is the 4-bar sequence that you can repeat over and over in the intro and verses. Now, for those of you who are really detail-oriented, Yes, you will have noticed that each repetition of the sequence is slightly different. I played every single variation to the single note in the demo, so you can go back and get those variations from there, where you also have the tab to follow. You can have a completely free one-on-one lesson with me. All you have to do is to DM me or contact me through my website, to which I'll leave a link in the description below. Let's look at the chorus now. I'll play it for you slowly so that you see what's going on. No new chords, that's the good news. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. All right. So again, we are going to break this down one bar at a time. I know that it sounds a bit painful when you say it like that, but really it takes us a lot less time to get it right when we do it carefully. So here goes bar 1, 3, 4. Cool. Here it goes with the counting. 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and. Okay. So we start off on that G minor 7, which is stopping the top 4 strings on the 15th fret. 1. Then we drop to the A flat major 7 and we strum on 2 and. Then we take the pinky off, 3, and we put it back on the and. Ands are upstrokes, remember. And then on the and of 4, we have the G minor 7 again. One last time. 3, 4. Cool. Here goes bar number 2 with the counting. 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and. Okay. 3, 4, 1. Aha. All right. So on the A major 7, we start off on the and of 1, 1, and 2, and. On 3, we take the pinky off, and we put it back on for the and of 3. And then we play the G minor 7 on the and of 4. So very, very similar to the first bar, right? Here they go together. 3, 4. Brilliant. Remember to practice one bar at a time. Now practice these 2 bars that we put together, and I'll add a third bar, which goes 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and. It's exactly the same as the previous one, except that instead of going up to the G minor 7, we go down to the E flat major 7. So with the counting, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and. Cool. So we'll add that to the first 2 bars. So altogether, the chorus goes like this. 3, 4. Beautiful. Bar number 4 starts off on that E flat major 7 and you go with the counting 3, 4, 1, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, that's a G minor 7, by the way, 10th fret. So one thing that I should probably clear out straight away is that the previous bar, you end on the and of 4 on that E flat major 7, and then you start bar 4 on the same E flat major 7 on the 1 and, right? So this is going to sound like the and of 4 belongs to this last bar, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 3, and 4, and. Okay. So now I'm going to add this last bar to the previous 3 to have the whole chorus. 3, 4. Beautiful. All right, how's that? For the second time around, it's exactly the same. So we play the same 4 bars again, except that on the first bar, we don't play the G minor 7. We go straight to the E flat major 7 on the second beat. So we literally just leave it out. 1. And everything else is the same. Bars 2, 3, and 4 are exactly the same. So if I play you now the 8 bar so that this makes sense, this sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Back to the beginning. 1. And again. All right. On that third time, by looking at this, you may not have seen anything different, but you may have noticed that it sounds slightly different. And the only thing that I'm doing is we're adding that 13th to the A flat major chord. This is actually a bit tricky. So you still have that A flat major 7. You were barring, remember? So you'll have that on the top string. You actually want to flatten the pinky so that the pinky is double stopping the first and second strings. Okay, so that's the A flat major 13 that we use in the first 2 bars of the third repeat. So back to normal. And the fourth time is normal. Except here. Right, so the ending, to signal that it's the end of the chorus, we stay on the G minor 7, and the fourth bar will go like this. 3, 4, and 3 and 4. From the last 4 bars probably, so you can see it in context. 3, 4, 1. Here we go. And 3 and 4. Brilliant. And then you go back to the verse. Woohoo! How's it going so far? So remember that if you need tabs, all that and more is available to all my Patreons on my Patreon page. Description. Well done if you got all that so far, that's great. Now that really is the tricky bit in terms of the rhythm. Now here comes the tricky bit in terms of how to technically play this to make it sound right. We get to the bridge, right, and we have those lovely arpeggi. We're only really playing 4 chords. The first one being an A flat major 7 again. Now here, although an A flat major 7 you would normally want to play it like that, right? We're playing a C shape, right? You would want to play it like that, but in this case you really have to use fingers 1, 2, and 3, so you have that bit of a stretch between the index and the middle finger. So that's chord number 1. You are going to have to add the pinky. That's why we're playing it with fingers 1, 2, and 3, right? Because this goes... Okay, we're going to look at the pattern in a second. Chord number 2 is a C minor 7, for which you're also going to have to leave the pinky free because you're going to need it. Then we go on to an F minor 7. And again, the pinky needs to be free because we're going to add it on the 10th fret. Cool. Then we're going to go back to the C minor 7 of a G, and then we're back at the beginning. So we only have 3 chords. Now, what's really tricky about this is the picking pattern. Let's actually work on this on the F minor 7 because it's the easiest chord to finger and therefore to get right. And this is when we're just trying to work out the pattern, which then you need to extrapolate and use on the other two chords as well. So we have that F minor 7, and here's how that pattern goes slowly. So. Okay. Slowly and talking you through it. We're going to be picking from the bass note, which is on string 5, all the way up, and then back down to string 4. Right, so far you have. I suggest that you do sweep picking for this, which is you pick in the same direction when you go up. You turn around and you pick upwards. So you have 4 strings that you're picking down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 strings that you're picking up. If you prefer and you're more used to playing alternate picking, by all means that works. It's just a bit fast and we have to be really, really consistent to work on achieving that. Then we add the pinky on the 10th fret and we play strings 1, 2, and 3. So far, and lastly, and here's the tricky bit, we go back to the high string, to the top E, we play strings 1, 2, we skip 3, and we go straight to 4 and 5. So. Alright, so that in context. And we do that because we need to play that bass note again to then move on to the next bass note. And we want to create that that bass line. So one last time. And at the very end, I've gone on to the C minor 7 with the bass note on the G to show you how you would connect to the next chord, because every connection is the same. Alright, so take your time on that F minor 7 to work on the pattern. Make sure you have it down. And then you have to put the same pattern through the other two chords. So on the A flat major 7, you'll have... And then you're back on the A flat major 7 and you continue playing the same thing. At the very end of that bridge, it will stay on the A flat major 7 for like 8 bars. And it's the same pattern, same chord shape. So that's it. Hey, it's tricky, but what a tune. It definitely is worth getting it right. You know, they are very, very careful about playing it right, exactly right, every single time on every live performance I've seen. So it's worth you striving to do the same. Have fun, and I'll see you next time. Hasta la próxima, arrivederci, au revoir.